Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so this is a bonus reading for Libra, and tonight our card is Temperance. Temper self, right? Oof. I'm always happy to see the Temperance card because it is a reminder of me to chill out. Time to chill out. All right, let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to hit the like button or leave a comment, I would love that so much. Especially if you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comments. Okay. So there's a very canine energy to this reading. We have, it looks like a wolf or a dog right here. You can see the face, the ears, okay? Now, if we turn this one like this, we also have another dog right here, okay? This one turns into a rabbit. And I was looking, oh, here's another dog right here. I was looking over here too. We have a dog in the actual plate as well, which we'll look at later. So definitely a feeling of a dog, right? Sometimes the dog will symbolize a dear friend, somebody who is like a best friend, like a soulmate. You know, somebody who you have an unbreakable bond with, okay? Other times it really does just indicate an actual dog, right? So I feel like this is, in this situation, I feel like this is that you have a dog or you had a dog, maybe when you were a kid. Maybe you've had one, it lived out its life, and then as an adult, you just have never, maybe you've never had like a place where you could have a dog, or you're really busy, you don't have the time to put into it. But I do feel like there is this sense of, really, it's like a calling, right? To maybe go and rescue a dog, or you've been considering maybe getting a puppy, or an older animal. Shout out to people that rescue elderly animals. I've had a couple of older cats that were over 10 years old when I got them, and both of them have passed since. One of them reached the age of 21, if you can believe that. He was 21. His name was Charlie Tuna. He was all black. He had a little tuft of white on his chest. He was the coolest. He was so cool. And he was so bossy. I think he had really like gone fully deaf. He just was so loud. When he was hungry, he would just yell at me. And I love that guy so much. But yeah, I do feel like there's this sense of, wanting to go get a dog. Maybe this is like kind of your sign. Do it. But I do think that, and maybe it is that you already have dogs. Maybe you have like 5 dogs already and you're like, oh, what's one more, right? But I do feel like you have a deep connection to canines. I can imagine, like, I'm just thinking of like having like a little lap dog, or something, like a little baby that you like to keep around. You take them to all the stores you can, and you know, take them for rides and all of that. Now, we do have this large rabbit, okay? So the rabbit is a sign of fertility, abundance, a lot of something, right? And up here, I'm seeing they have this beautiful eye, you can see. Kind of reminds me of maybe like the Eye of Horus, or, you know, one of their... We always call it the Eye of Horus, but there are a lot of different eye symbols in Egyptian artworks or writings, okay? But I do feel like this is like a sense of the eye of God, right? The eye of the creator, of the architect, the all-seeing eye, if you will. We also have another eye right here, okay? So and then you look at the rabbit, kind of turns into a person who is up pointing at the eyes. So I do feel like there is this real abundance of spirit in your life. There is a kind of this, it feels like a lush flourishing of spirituality running through your life. If you could imagine being in kind of a beautiful, overgrown, and intentionally so, right? A natural kind of garden, a garden that has a lot of native plants, indigenous plants, and is full of animals and places for them to kind of, like rabbits, right? Rabbits all over the yard, living out their best lives. And there's a lot of flowers and hanging things and you know, ivy growing over the walls. This is what it feels like to step into your life right now. There is just a beauty and an abundance of life that is thriving. It is at its fullest. And it's almost like a sense of like, it's like life, like a heartbeat through your existence. Like there is a pulsating of energetic bliss, like everywhere. Okay. And I can feel you really in it. I mean, just allowing yourself to be so immersed, where usually I think that you just kind of notice and you think, oh, this is beautiful. I feel good. I feel good. You know, I feel spiritually right. Like I'm, you know, I'm on the level. I'm standing on the square, right? But then you're still kind of just in your mundane life, going about your business. But this, I think it's almost kind of like Alice in Wonderland, right? Less scary, less weird, less kind of kidnappy too. You know, like where you're just like, you're taken away to another place you don't know how to leave. Less of that, right? But still this kind of surreal feeling around, you know, what you're perceiving, how you're experiencing it. It feels like you've entered another realm and you're noticing a lot of things about life that maybe you hadn't before. And I feel like this is a time where it's like you are filling your cup with that kind of emotional and spiritual sustenance. And you are noticing those kind of mysteries in life. You are noticing kind of that higher power or that unseen thing, that thing that is woven through the fabric of reality. And yeah, definitely a sense of the veil being lifted to some degree. And I feel like this is a place where you excel, that you thrive. You are a mystic after all. And I feel this is a time where there is a clarity, but it's a revelation, right? It's not just the eyes to see, but there's something to see. And I feel you kind of really, and we have an anchor up here, anchoring yourself in this place. So I could see you continuing to do kind of magical work, religious work, physically in your world, acting out rituals and ceremonies. And now when we say rituals and ceremonies, we sometimes, I think, go right to magic, the occult, witchcraft, this kind of thing. But no, the rituals and ceremonies exist in all religions, in all spiritual movements, and in our mundane life, right? Going and at the end of the day, going to the bathroom, washing your face and brushing your teeth, and maybe you put your hair up to go to bed or whatever it is. This series of things that we do, they are rituals. Okay. So I feel that you are very present in the physical act of kind of expressing your spiritual inclinations right now. So maybe that is you keeping an altar. Maybe that is you cleansing your home. Maybe that is you going to, you're starting to go back to church or you start going to mass. Not only on Sundays, but maybe on Wednesdays or, whatever, afternoon mass, or maybe, you haven't been to mosque in a while and you're going to start going for, Friday prayers or whatever it is. But I'm thinking, what is this? But I feel resistance. I don't think it's from you, though. It feels like maybe your partner, I was going to say child. Maybe it's your older child or partner or somebody in your life, parents maybe, I don't know, but it seems like there's somebody in your life who feels that it is their place, or at least that they should be allowed to kind of tell you what they think about what you're doing, right? Maybe it is. You start going back to church and they're like, well, why are you doing that? It's a waste of time. This kind of thing. Well, I think that that's silly. I don't believe in that. Like kind of really somebody who maybe doesn't have a lot of tolerance, or they just are very opinionated, or they're just kind of like, they love to just kind of, poo-poo on other people's things that they care about. It's part of their personality. They're maybe kind of cynical, whatever it is. But I feel like in a way it affects you, but it doesn't stop you. I feel like it's almost kind of this, like, it's an unnecessary hurdle. It's an energy that you don't necessarily appreciate too much, but you're willing to put up with it, right? And so I feel like it's kind of just, that's lingering in there somewhere. Now we also have the letter A, and it looks like a T. So A and T. We have a person who is kind of standing here looking at this person, and I see a little bird flying from them. Also, I see we have an airplane up here. So I feel like there's also a situation where maybe somebody you don't live close to, they are going to be kind of communicating with you. And maybe it's been some time and you've been out of contact, but I think out of nowhere, they kind of reach out to you. And so look out for that. Prepare yourself for it. I think as I'm saying this, you're already knowing who I'm talking about. It feels like maybe family, like maybe estranged family even. But there'll be an attempt at communicating. So check your emails and your messages and all of that, okay? Now we're going to go over here. We have two hearts. 2 hearts right there. We have an owl right here. And we have a person with a big foot. Somebody with big feet. I feel like this is a person with a solar sign, as we have a hawk up here. So kind of a Horus energy. This is maybe a younger, youthful male energy, masculine energy. And though they feel very headstrong and kind of accomplished, I feel like they come to you for advice, where you are kind of that owl. You're a person that I think that you're really good at giving like news and advice to people, because you're clear, but you're not harsh. You're realistic, but you also put a little sweetness in there, and hopefulness, right? And you're good at like looking for all of the different choices and avenues one might go down, the options that they might have. So I feel like this person is going to be coming to you for some kind of support, some kind of advice. We also have, it looks like a rooster. The heart is also a rooster. So I do feel like with the rooster's the alarm going off, right? The other day I had in a reading, we had a rooster in the reading, and somebody in the comments said, I was watching this right as my rooster was going, was cock-a-doodle-doing in the morning. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. But yeah, so we do have that. So it is kind of this alarm going off. And I think it is in the emotional sector, where maybe you're coming to the realization of a love connection or a renewal of love or something like this. But you're like acutely aware of your feelings. And it seems like it is like red alert, right? Not in a bad way, but like, oh, here it comes. These are the big emotional kind of emanations, right? Now we also have it's a person over here, and I'm trying to think. It's almost like, it almost reminds me of like a snake. Like they're looking down. They're worried that there's a snake, but when they look at it, it's not. So I almost kind of feel like there's almost like a worry, right? Like you're worried that maybe this is like untrue, or this person maybe is maybe leading you on, or, you know, whatever it is. But I think when you look closer, you see that you are looking for problems, right? You were looking for something to be wrong before it even started. I'm pointing at myself. This is absolutely my energy. So, you know, I do. And this is where that tempering of self maybe comes in, right? Chill out. No, just kind of pump the brakes a little bit. Go a little slower and, you know, let it happen as it does. But you know, don't try to rush through or jump to conclusions, I think is really the message there. Now we're going to do our self-care oracle cards, and I'm going to flip through and stop where it feels right. Okay, and it says, Feast of Gratitude. I savor the sweet moments of life. I taste the beauty of my days, and my stomach is full of gratitude for every moment. My stomach is full of gratitude for every moment. All right, Libra, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you, because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And so if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel immensely. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And what else? If you want to leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you, especially if you're new to the channel, okay? Definitely shout it out in the comments. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope everybody is staying cool. I know there's so many heat waves going on. We are in the middle of one as well. It is so humid outside. It feels like you're walking into like a bathtub. It is so humid. It's like you just immediately start sweating. It's ridiculous. So I don't know. It's supposed to pass pretty soon, but I do hope that everybody everywhere is, you know, staying as cool as they can. Now, if you're in the southern hemisphere, I don't know what's going on with your weather. I haven't looked. The news cycles here in America have been, I don't know, pretty wild the last couple of days. This comes out on Tuesday. I'm recording on Sunday. It's the weekend. So if you know what I'm talking about, the things going on in the news. Now, we won't have any political discussions in the comments. I will delete them. I have deleted some already. You know, not because I'm picking any sides. You will never know where I stand on anything having to do with that, because you know what? I barely know. I barely know what's going on. But I don't leave the comments for all the political stuff on there. Just because, you know, sometimes we need some places in our life where we're not having these discussions. But yeah, so I'm a little behind on the weather reports. And that's really the only reason the news ever comes on in our house, is because I am always looking at the weather, definitely. But yeah, I don't know what's going on in the southern hemisphere. If you want to tell me, if you want to talk about the weather, please do. You will make this lady right here so happy. I could talk about that kind of stuff all morning, all night. I just absolutely, my poor husband, he doesn't really look up the weather that much, because he knows I'm going to be in every time something changes just a little bit. I'm like, well, guess what? So anyways, that's it. I'm out of here. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. We'll talk in a couple days. All right. Good night. Good night. Good night.